Hello comrades, yes it's me, a Yorkshireman, now living in Wales. And I hope everybody's okay comrades, power to the people. So I'm excited today comrades for two things. First off, luckily for all of us in the United Kingdom, and I mean Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and England of course, is we are now getting a step closer towards joining our great partners in China in social control. I'm so excited for that, it's great, seriously great. We'll be able to have access to social credits, they'll be able to tell us where to go, what to do and everything like that. We're just getting further and further to that point. I'm so excited. And how does it start? It starts with manipulating and managing stories. Yes. Further good news though is, remember the video I did on, two videos actually, about planting trees in Uganda? Yes, well that's finally being picked up by the mainstream media, which is odd actually, given that information's been available for about 10 years plus, because on the social media sites I'm a member of, it's often been mentioned many times, so it's not been hidden. However, Irene sent me this. Thank you Irene, one of my watchers, and as you can see here, Mail on Sunday, it says Welsh Labour's 4 million for gender equal tree planting in Uganda. Hurrah! Right, so Mail on Sunday's picked it up. I also noticed Telegraph, they've picked it up and that came out on bing.com news, then dside.com, not sure why they're doing it, and then the Telegraph themselves have done it as well. Now, this of course begs a question, so what's the actual real story here? Well, bearing in mind one of my other videos, I highlighted and I have made it really clear that Sustrans, yes, that charity, they got loads of money, I think about £120 million from the Welsh Government, that's this hand here, this hand, and for passing it to the Welsh councils, Sustrans took like a handling fee of £35 million in 1 year. My question is, why is that not in the news? See, and this goes back to this thing about the mainstream media, and that is like mainstream media, not social media, mainstream media. We're reckoning now that they realise they've been rumbled in controlling the narrative and what we see. So what you're seeing here is a classic of, we're going to talk about a mere £4 million, but it's not mere to me, self-confessed, tight Yorkshireman. I'm very interested in £4 million, and we're going to pretend we're on the side of the public by reporting it. Question there is, why are you not talking about £35 million in 1 year for a handling fee? That's the question there, isn't it, you see? And this is like what I would call smoke and mirrors misdirection at its best. However, it doesn't really get any better, because I like to read things, and in this response from the Welsh Government, they just say climate change, and I've noticed this change. So this is glorious news, because what it means is the emergency is over. Right, so the climate change emergency is now finished. So why is that not all over the world news? To say the climate emergency is now finished, because it was always climate change emergency, but now the Welsh Government and other governments, if you pay attention, chances are they're not talking about emergency. So why isn't that around the world? I don't know. You see, I can't quite work that one out. That is the actual story when I look at this now. So my £4 million or £35 million, that's irrelevant now. We should really be talking about the climate change, the emergency, has now finished. Because I did notice that about 2 or 3 weeks ago actually, they've not started mentioning emergency. So this is what we have to understand is happening. This is why I'm telling you. I mean, we've got now another free speech bill coming in, online safety bill, and safety is it's an odd word really, and I don't know what I can and can't say. Most people don't know what they can and can't say, so I don't know whether or not I'll get a knock on the door for pointing out that the mainstream media is actually missing that the one charity takes £35 million as a handling fee. I don't know, but a lot of people need to sort of, I'm going to suggest, wake up. Now if you're watching this you might think, well I understand it, but it's worse than what we all think. And I was watching another video and I'm going to show you a little clip about this. Now what I'll also say is it is quite good news that the £4 million has been mentioned, so I'm happy with that. But also what is now happening, so I spend a lot of time on social media, and I'm a member of different groups which talk about 120,000 people. when I first started posting either articles or comments and things like that, and then my videos, I would get lots and lots and lots of views and comments. Now I can do exactly the same content, if not better, and literally I get 2. However, I'm still down as an all-star contributor. So how's that work then? Again, so what's happened here is pressure is now coming down on the social media companies to start restricting free speech. Now, it was happening to me and many other people well before this online safety bill came into place. So, what I'd like to do is share somebody else who can explain it far better, just so you can then consider yourself, are we heading towards a good place? Is the excitable place of being like a Chinese person, or a China person, or Chinese person, I'm not really sure on that, that if I say the wrong thing, my social credit system goes down and I might not be able to eat, or might not be able to go out for that day. Is that something we're all desiring? I mean, on the side of safety, I personally can't wait for it. I'm all for that, it'd be great. I don't know. So, please tick subscribe. I don't know why I'm saying that, because it seems a bit pointless. So, I'm going to let this short clip of the video run. I will literally put in the link to the video if you want to watch it all, if not, but I do think this little section might give you a clearer view of what is going on at this moment in time. Thank you for watching, and catch you on the other side. Thank you.
Of speech in Britain, the Online Safety Act and all of that, what is the one thing that no one's talking about that they really should be?
The one thing people aren't talking about, well, I'm not sure the extent to which the police are arresting people for supposedly saying something unlawful online. I'm not sure the extent of it has fully sunk in. I mean, we do read from time to time about, people who are arrested often by, 6 or 7 police officers who then ransack their houses, haul them down to the station, imprison them in cells for 8 or 9 hours, only to then kind of release them. But I don't think people realize quite the extent of it. So there was this piece in the Times a few months ago, which discovered quite astonishingly that I think it was over 12,000 people in the past year had been arrested under suspicion of having committed just 2 speech offences. An offence under, I think, Section 1 of the Malicious Communications Act and Section 127 of the Communications Act. That's just 2 of the many speech offences you can be prosecuted for. I mean, there are at least a dozen. That was just 2. Over 12,000 people a year being arrested under suspicion of committing just those 2 speech offences, which is over 30 a day. So that's over 30 people a day being arrested under suspicion of having just broken 2 of these laws, criminalising what you can say. And invariably, it's stuff they've said online. And even when they conclude, and more often than not they do, that they don't have sufficient evidence to prosecute this person, it'll be recorded as a non-crime hate incident. So, I don't think people realise quite the scale of non-crime hate incidents being recorded either. So through various Freedom of Information requests, the FSU has established that over the past 11 years, over 250,000 NCHIs have been recorded in England and Wales alone. And that's over 62, an average of over 62 a day. I mean, you wonder why, if your house is burgled or your car is stolen or your child has his phone stolen on the bus, the police will take very little interest. They'll at best send you a crime report number so you can claim on insurance. The reason they won't come around to your house is because they're far too busy policing our tweets to police our streets. If you want the police, if you get burgled and you want the police to come to your house, get a can of spray paint before you do anything else and spray paint on the wall, trans women aren't women. Report it as a hate crime and literally have a helicopter overhead. You'll have 6 police officers outside. I mean, then they'll investigate. Otherwise, no.
Toby Young, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.